when we are putting together equations, we go in order of operations. We do. This is how we check our work. But when we're solving equations, we undo. Reverse order of operations. So we're doing that same thing today. We're going to undo with the inverses we talked about yesterday. Let's get to solving some equations. Now that line down the equal sign. When we are solving equations, so we're going backwards. So I'm going to subtract 13 to both sides. And when I do that, 13 minus 13 is 0. So it gets to cancel out. And I bring down my 2w. And that's equal to 34. Now we talked about when you see a number right next to a variable, that's multiplication. So we have to do the inverse, which is? Divide. Yep. Divide by 2 on both sides. Make it fair. 2 divided by 2 is 1, which is why we get to cross it out. And then we do 34 divided by 2, which is 17. This is the one and only time I'm going to check my work today because I'm trying to save some time. Remember, you don't have to ask me if it's right. You should know right away. You can plug back in and check your work. 2 times 17 plus 13 should be equal to 47. 2 times 17 is 34. If I add up the left side, I get 47. So did I do it right? Yes. You should know right away. Don't need to ask me. Draw your balancing line. Noah, what do I do first?
Add both sides.
Okay, goes to 0. Use your number line. You are at -5, and you go up 12. Up would be to the right. You should end up in the positives. Where do you end up? 7. And then when you bring down the r over 4, I have students all the time change it to 4r. But it is not 4r. It is r over 4. It should remain exactly as it is. So r over 4. And Robert, how do I undo the 4? Right now it's being divided. So that goes to 1. And that would be 28. So we're going to start with subtracting 5. Not 6, 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Rewrite your equation. That would be equal to what, guys?
6.
And we're going to multiply by 2. 2 divided by 2 goes to 1. So your final answer should be 12. Balancing line? Charlie, what do I do first?
Add 12 to both sides.
Goes to 0. Now bring down what you got. 1/3 m is equal to 15. Discuss with... Right, multiply by the flip. What do we call that thing? Ooh, reciprocal. Nice vocab. Recollection. 15 is not a fraction. Put it over 1. Now if I multiply on the left, I would get 1. So I get to cross those out. I bring down m. And I multiply straight across. 15 times 3, 45. And there'll just be a 1 on the bottom. So we're good. This is actually something that has parentheses. The top part of that fraction is all stuck together. And so I know there's not actually parentheses there, but you'd have to add it. Now there's parentheses, and we know that parentheses goes last. So you cannot get rid of that 3 right now. What can I do? Andrew? Not subtract. Right? Yeah, you multiply, because right now it's being divided. So we're going to multiply by 4. We're going to take care of that 3 later, because right now it's in parentheses. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we are left with x plus 3. Now that it's alone, you can take away the parentheses. Is equal to 44. And now you can subtract 3. $41, right? Parentheses. Mm-hmm. It dies, and you're left with p minus 1 is equal to, is it 32? Yeah, I'm struggling today. Maddie, what do I do next? Thanks. 32, right? That'd be 32. Because 15 times 2 is 30, and then 1 times 2 is 2. I get it. I'm right there with you. Write equations. You go in order of operations. You don't try and undo as you're writing it, okay? So don't do anything crazy. We're just going to write the equation. Let's read through this, and let's figure out what operations, when I say operations, I mean add, subtract, multiply, divide. What operations are happening to this number? 2 more than 4 times a number is 14. What does it mean, 2 more? What operation do you guys think that is? Addition. Yeah, probably addition. So I'm just going to write that. Mark it up, right? 2 more, add. 2 more than 4 times. What's that? Multiply. Oh. Multiply. 4 times a number is 14. What does is mean in that? Equals. Yes, it does. When you see the word is, it's the equal sign. So let's define our variable. Is x okay? We'll use a different letter on the next one. Let x be equal to the unknown number. We're about to write an equation. You have to tell me what that x stands for. And let's just go through our operations. 2 more. I should probably put plus 2. 2 more, plus 2. At some point in this equation, we're adding 2. 2 more than 4 times a number. Do we know what the number is? X, right? We don't really actually know what it is. So what should I put? If I'm multiplying by 4, what do I put next to the 4? So I'm going to put 4x. 4 times that number plus 2 more is equal to 14. Please solve that equation and figure out what the number is going to be. And you should get that by solving the equation. You would get that by adding 400 and then dividing by 4.